Many of us have been shocked by the force of Mother Nature as we watch the catastrophe on television and YouTube. The Philippine National Red Cross estimates that about 1,000 have died, but the death toll is expected to rise as more information are gathered from the coastal communities. More than 1 million families, or about 4 million individuals in 36 provinces were affected, forcing hundreds of thousands to flee their homes and knocking out power and communications in several provinces, particularly the coastal communities. President Benigno Aquino III has ordered all concerned government agencies that their top priority is to save lives and ensure the safety of the people. He has told his team to intensify search and rescue operations and make sure that aid reaches the victims, including those in isolated areas where power and communications are cut off. The Philippines has been severely tested by Mother Nature on several occasions this year, including the killer earthquake that hit Bohol and Cebu last month. In fact, relief and recovery efforts are still ongoing in Bohol and Cebu, when yet again, the resilience of the Filipino people is being tested in the aftermath of the storm Yolanda, or Haiyan. It's the 27th typhoon that has made landfall in the Philippines this year. Our thoughts and prayers go out to all the families who have lost loved ones. And we certainly feel profoundly for all the families whose lives have been upended and are going through very tough times over the next several days, months, or even years. But as President Aquino has said, no calamity or tragedy can bring a united Filipino nation to its knees. As a nation, the Filipino people have courageously wrestled and surmounted horrific acts of nature in the past. With that spirit of resilience and strength, there's no doubt that the Filipino nation is going to bounce back. But we need help. Just like any of us that we're seeing who would need help if we saw the kind of staggering devastation that we're seeing over there. It's going to take a long time for communities to rebuild, brick by brick, block by block. I would like to say that during national calamities or tragedies in the Philippines, when we see nature at its worst, we also see humanity at its best and what's brightest in the country. Over the last few hours, in the midst of so much tragedy, we've seen first responders working round the clock in hard-hit communities, volunteers coming from all over the country came to help, neighbors sharing whatever they have, food, water, blankets. We see people standing tall, of survivors working to ensure that no one suffers through this tragedy alone. And the big-hearted overseas Filipino communities, as always, starting to respond with so much generosity. We are one people, no matter where we are. A disaster in the Philippines is always felt by millions of overseas Filipinos all over the world. When our kababayans are in need, we roll up our sleeves and get to work not for the recognition or the reward, but because it's the right thing to do. So I want to urge every kababayan here in Austria to step up. The best way to support those affected by this horrific storm is to make a contribution, perhaps financial contribution, to the voluntary organization of your choice, including the Philippine National Red Cross. The best way to volunteer, including medical missions, is to affiliate with an organization that is providing support to survivors. As is said in the scripture, God has a plan. And it is important, though, that we also recognize that we are an instrument of His will. And we need to know that as one people across the seas, we're going to be there as shelter from the storm for the people of the motherland who are in need.